Hello, welcome to our Getting Started video guide for Corona Renderer in Cinema 4D. This video is aimed at those that are new to Corona or switching from another renderer. On our website, in the download section, you can find your choice of installation type. Towards the bottom we have Cinema 4D here, Windows and Mac. I'll select Windows, let that download, and then we can install it. Let's unzip it. And run the installation. Accept the terms and conditions. Next. Installation type. Typical is usually the one you will choose. If you happen to run into some errors, you can run the installation process again and choose either a custom or unpack the files, which will extract the contents of the executable file. From there you can drag and drop that into your Cinema 4D plugins folder. So let's go ahead with typical. As we can see, everything is okay. If you do happen to run into some problems, you can contact us at support@corona-renderer.com and we'll help you out from there. Next, and finish. Now we'll fire up Cinema 4D and have a look. Now that we're inside Cinema 4D, we can locate where Corona is. Up in the top menu, we can see all the goodies that have been installed. We can also locate Corona in the material editor. This showing a list of various material types. And also in the render settings. By default it's standard, but we can change that to Corona. And now we have even more additional settings. By default we shouldn't need to touch these, and we'll look at all these features in up and coming videos. Now let's have a look at Corona in action. As you can see, I've set up a quick scene here with our Corona truck full of daily builds and a background object here. So we need to set up a camera and some lights. So from the drop down, Corona camera. It's always best to use a Corona camera, but of course we do support Cinema 4D. We'll make this active and get it into a better position. And also increase the focal length. Now we can go ahead and add some lighting. Corona lights are physically accurate, but if you need to use Cinema 4D lights, they are also supported. So let's go ahead and set these up. This will be our softbox for the overhead. The larger your light source, the softer the shadows will be, and the smaller the light source, the sharper the shadows will be. Now we can go ahead and create a key light. And increase the height, maybe the width a little, give it a name. This will be key, and I'll duplicate this for the fill. And there we have it. We have our little studio setup happening. Now we can go ahead and add these lights to our LightMix, which will create a separate light pass, and we can adjust the intensity and color of each light whilst using interactive rendering. Now that we're looking through our camera again, we can have a look at some of the features of Corona, such as the interactive rendering. This is quite a powerful tool that will allow us to view any real-time changes. For example, if I was to shift the camera, you can see that it follows along. This also works for any material changes, lighting changes. We can see that our scene is very overexposed. In the post-processing tabs we can control overall exposure, contrast, highlights, etc. But we want to create sort of a mood lighting and have full control over the intensity of each light, so we need to set up our LightMix to do so. So I'll stop it for now, jump back into the camera, and we'll add our lights to our LightMix. Go to multipass, enable multipass again, set up interactive LightMix. This will automatically add any light source in your scene. We'll choose individual lights and then generate, and as we can see, our lights are now set up. This of course can be done manually in this section here, but for the purpose of this tutorial we'll use the automatic method. Now if we fire up our interactive rendering again, you can see that it jumps straight into the LightMix and that we have our lighting here. Something like this. You can of course change the light color or temperature in real time to any of the lights that are set up here. Now we can probably go ahead and do our render. Currently this will just continue to render until I stop it, which I will do. But what we can do is, from the render settings under general, we can set the pass limit. So this will do 20 passes and then stop, or you could put in a time. It might want to render for an hour or something, or a noise limit. So if we set something like 4, when it reaches 4% of a noise it will stop. We can also activate denoising. This will clean the image up after the render and preserve any details. So this is all default, that's fine. Now we can go ahead and do a final render. Here we can see the stats of what is happening. the amount of passes, the noise level. I'll let this render and then I'll come back when it is finished. Now that that's finished rendering, we can see that just after 20 passes and a rendering time of 1 minute 6, we have a nice, fairly clean, noise-free image. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this brief guide to getting started with Corona Renderer in Cinema 4D. Be sure to stay tuned to our YouTube channel for future videos coming very soon. Thanks a lot. See you later.